Michigan Proposal 1. Actually, you know what? I want to start with Michigan Proposal 3 because that's the one that I really know. And that's the one that I'm really surprised that people don't know about. It's really weird. So, this is the Right to Reproductive Freedom Initiative. This is the one that I shared on the show. It's got a lot of mistakes. It's got a lot of problems with the actual text. Let's see. Okay, so this one, Ballotpedia, does not give the actual text. It doesn't show the actual ballot or the actual physical copy that people were signing to get on the ballot, which is pretty interesting. Ballotpedia. They do show that for the other texts for amendments. So we'll just have to read what Ballotpedia has provided for us. So one thing that I want to note before we move on is I've knocked on many, many doors in the past couple weeks. Knocked on tons of doors last Saturday, not this one that just happened, but the last one before that. And most people, even those that are strongly opposed to abortion, do not know about this bill or do not know about this amendment, which is interesting. I would think that most people would have at least seen commercials for it. But no, the average American is not super informed on what is going on locally, which is a problem, which is why I do this show, because I want you, yes, you, I want you to be informed about what's going on in your community. We're here in Ottawa County. We want to make a difference in our politics. It starts with being informed. What is going on? That's why the show exists. Shameless plug. If you're not subscribed, please do. Please hit the little notification bell. You will get a notification when a new show goes up. And also share it with some friends, because you being informed is great. It is wonderful, but we need more people informed, especially more people that are conservative-minded. The people in the middle, we don't want the Democrats informed. They're super uninformed. The liberal side there, they believe the media. We need to have information that we can trust. So here we go. Constitutional amendment to invoke reproductive freedom for all. So it says, every individual has a fundamental right to reproductive freedom, which entails the right to make and effectuate decisions about all matters relating to pregnancy, including but not limited to prenatal care, childbirth, postpartum care, contraception, sterilization, abortion care, miscarriage management, and infertility care. An individual's right to reproductive freedom shall not be denied, burdened, nor infringed upon unless justified by a compelling state interest achieved by the least restrictive means. Here's the problem. What this does, it says every individual, right? You can read it right there. Every individual has the fundamental right to reproductive freedom. Well, that means that parents of minors are not going to be involved in this decision. That also means that individuals, even underage individuals, can make decisions about all matters relating to pregnancy. What is the biggest matter relating to pregnancy? It's sex. These underage minors will be able to make decisions about sex. What does that do to our statutory rape law? I'm not sure. Fred Wolzek said that it would get rid of it. It would get rid of statutory rape because individuals have the fundamental right to make decisions about all matters relating to pregnancy. So that's the big thing, is abortion will be legal for everybody, minors included. They won't have any parental guidance. There won't even need to be parental knowledge. There certainly won't need to be parental consent. And the issue with statutory rape, I'm not sure that would hold up in court. I think the laws binding statutory rape would still hold. Okay, so I'm not certain that that argument is actually as valid as some may think it is, but it does open the gate for that. The text of the text of the amendment certainly says an individual's right to reproductive freedom is there. So, what can we do about this? Well, there's a campaign run by Protect Life Michigan that is going and knocking on doors. It is very effective. Guys, if you're thinking, "Oh no, I don't want to go and be have a confrontational conversation." That's not what this is. That's not what you're doing. You're not trying to convince people that are unconvincible. Nor are you trying to convince people that are already convinced. I mean, sometimes you get some of those people that are already convinced that they're going to vote no, and then they find out you're pro-life and that you're trying to get this repealed, or that you're just not in favor of abortion through 9 months. And, they get excited. They're like, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much for what you're doing." The people that are pro-abortion, no matter what. So here's, I want to just walk through with you what happens when you go up to a door. Okay. So I go up to a door. All right. "Hello, my name is Thomas. I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm not sure I have the right house," and I've got my phone. I'm looking at it. Okay. I've got the app open, and I say, I'm not sure I'm at the right house. Is this voter name?" Obviously, I'll say their name, right? And they say either, "Yeah, this is," and I say, or they'll say, "No, it's not." Those are really the only two options. If they say yes, great. I'm so glad I'm at the right spot. Do you mind if I just ask you a couple questions? I'm out here gathering voter data, voter opinions. So we pose it as an opinion poll, and we say, of course, after they consent, we say, "If you had to describe yourself, would you say that you are strongly in favor of abortion, strongly opposed to an abortion, or kind of somewhere in the middle?" The average answer is somewhere in the middle. I got a lot of strongly in favor and strongly opposed, more strongly opposed, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the average answer is somewhere in the middle. Then you ask them, what is the most important issue regarding abortion that you find to inform your decision on what happens with abortion? And usually that question is kind of hard to both frame and answer for them, because they're like, what do you mean? And you can say something like, well, is it safety of the mother? Is there like you think women should have a choice, or is it having this option available? Like, what like parental consent? What issue surrounding abortion is most important to you? That's kind of where we're going, so that we know how to talk to this voter, because you want to spend less than 5 minutes with this person. So when you gather that information, most people will say, well, I think abortion should be legal, but I don't think that it should go all the way through 12 months or 9 months. That's the average answer. That's the answer that I got most often. So I, being the person with this information that I've got on a clipboard, they can't see it until I pull it out, so I've got a flyer. I say, well, actually, I have a flyer here for you on Proposal 3. Have you heard of Proposal 3? They'll say, I've heard a little bit about it. That's the most my goodness, words are just escaping me today. That's the most used answer. That's the one I get the most common. My goodness, couldn't think of the word common. That's the most common answer. And they'll say, I don't really have too much information about it off the top of my head. And I'll say, well, you're in luck. I do. So we talk a little bit about some of the things that are problems with the bill, like the fact that, it just says abortion shall be available, to every individual. Well, that removes parental consent. That removes parental guidance in this issue. Minors can just go get an abortion. Or You can come at it from the side of look at how short this text is. There's not a lot of real guidelines for what abortion will be when it's implemented into our Constitution. So you can say there's not very physician guidelines. I've heard the argument that like a veterinarian would be qualified to perform abortions under this bill. Again, I'm not sure exactly how that would work out legally, but because this bill was so hastily put together, they didn't think about wording. They didn't think about putting parameters in place. They didn't think about a lot of things. It's just a hastily thrown together bill. So Proposal 3, there's a lot of ways you can go with it, with this voter that you're talking to. And I have had pro-life or pro-choice people say, "Oh man, I can't vote for this. If it legalizes abortion through 9 months, no way. I don't want that." And because this is going to be so permanent, it's going into our Constitution, that requires 2/3 of both the House and the Senate to make any amendment to this proposition. This is permanent, people. That's why I've taken some time out of my day to go and talk to people about this. And we really need to talk about it. Because like I've said, I've gone up to people's houses that they say they are strongly opposed to abortion. And I say, "Oh, have you heard about Proposal 3 going on the ballot this November?" And they'll say, "No, I haven't heard about it at all." What? You haven't heard about it at all? And I convince them to get out there and vote no on Proposal 3. So all these things can be really confusing for the average person. Now, if you're watching this show, you are not the average person. You are a little bit more politically engaged, politically intelligent, and politically informed than the average voter. I don't say that to toot your own horn. Don't get a big head about that. It just means you're kind of nutty. So, but you are a little bit more informed. You listen to me ramble on about Proposition 3. Okay, the rest of the population needs that too, and big tech isn't going to help us. We need to be getting out there and knocking on doors. That's why I've been out there doing it. And that's why I would strongly encourage you to get out there and knock on doors as well. So that's Proposal 3.